Welcome to the return of the North Andover Journal, where once again we bring you all the latest North Andover news, events, and happenings in our town. I'm your host, Ron Carpenito. Well, yes, we have been on a bit of a hiatus, but now we're excited to be back and looking forward to covering even more of the things going on in this incredible community. So come join us for a look around town. Now, every year at this time, the North Andover Finance Committee holds a small ceremony swearing in its incoming members. This year, 3 members were sworn back in: Nancy Sorrow, Eva Pastor, and Christine Allen. Town Moderator Mark DeSalvo, who is in charge of the appointing of the members, led the ceremony and spoke to us about the process.
On August 21st, 3 members of the Finance Committee were reappointed to their positions by Town Moderator Mark DeSalvo. He explained the process of how members of the committee get appointed.
Well, the town moderator is the sole party who statutorily, according to our charter, has the single authority to be able to appoint the members of the Finance Committee. I appoint all 9 members of the Finance Committee. I have the unilateral obligation of doing so, and I try to, and have for the last dozen years, tried to craft a committee that looks like the town of North Andover, both in terms of age, gender, ideology, geography, so that it's truly representative of the community at large.
According to the town of North Andover's website, the 9-member committee's goal is to make objective and concise recommendations to town meeting on the annual budget and any other finance-related warrant articles. There are 9 members of the Finance Committee that each serve 3-year terms. Members' terms are staggered, so 3 seats are available for appointment each year. Moderator DeSalvo explained what qualities he looks for in potential appointees to the committee.
Most importantly, being honest. Number 2, that you know how to count, that you have to have some numeracy. I don't say that blindly. It's really, unfortunately, true that in past circumstances and in other communities, I've seen finance committees that didn't have the kind of financial skills and ability to be able to connect those professional and educational experiences to the real world. You don't have to be a municipal finance expert, but you need to be expert about what it means to be a citizen. The word citizen is a verb in my view, and these good people and the other 6 who serve currently on the committee and the dozens that have served prior to them were true civic agents.
Public meetings of the Finance Committee are broadcast live on GovCam, which is Comcast Channel 8, Verizon Channel 26. Replays occur at regular intervals on the channel, and the meetings are available on demand on northandovercam.org and our YouTube channel.
Well, September is here again, and with the return of fall comes the return of high school sports. The Scarlet Knights are getting ready to take the field, and CAM Sports is prepping for another season of exciting athletic action. Here's a preview.
Fall is fast approaching, and North Andover High School will soon be back in session, and the Scarlet Knights will be back on the field, on the court, on the green, and in the pool. We spoke with Athletic Director Steve Nugent, and he offered some advice to freshmen or upperclassmen thinking about joining a sports team for the first time this fall.
For me, as it pertains to our incoming 9th graders, the biggest change that our incoming 9th graders are going to feel is the fact that they're practicing every day. In most sports, they're only practicing a couple of times a week and maybe have 1 game per week. At the high school, you're practicing anywhere from 5 to 6 days a week, a couple of hours each day. So that is a big, significant change that your body has to adjust to and you have to adjust to. But at the same time, I think looking at our upperclassmen who maybe have gone away from a sport or haven't tried anything, there's always a non-cut sport every season, fall, winter, spring. So I strongly encourage our student athletes or our students to get involved because there's always room, whether it's behind the camera or in front of it, on the playing field or behind it, to get involved with our athletic program.
The fall season includes 10 sports: football, boys and girls soccer, field hockey, girls volleyball, boys and girls cross country, swim and dive, cheer, and golf. Athletic Director Steve Nugent says that registration numbers for these sports haven't dropped despite an increase in user fees this year.
So this fall, we have over 500 athletes registered for fall sports right now, which is pretty much on par for what we've always had. Even despite, we raised the user fee by $100 for the first sport. So in North Andover High School, we've got user fees to help offset the cost of our budget. So we went up by $100 this year from $300 to $400, and it hasn't had an impact on the number of athletes who have registered to play.
The football team looks to improve from last year's 5-2 regular season record and first-round playoff exit. The Knights open their season at home against Drake on Friday, September 13th at 6 p.m. We spoke to head coach John Dubzinski about the upcoming Scarlet Knights football season.
I think the landscape is pretty consistent. They're well-coached teams. There's a lot of great athletes, and the competition is very, very high. I think the Merrimack Valley is probably the best or one of the top 2 public school leagues in the state. So year in and year out, you got to do a great job preparing your kids for great competition every single year in this league. We have a great attitude. I know it's kind of cliche, but we really do. When the season ended last year, it kind of ended on a sour note. Lost on Thanksgiving, and our leadership kind of got together and said we need to make some changes, and then the big change is going to be in the off season, and they put in a lot of hours. They were up at 6 in the morning coming to the high school twice a week, and in the wintertime and the springtime, and then over the summer they were up 3 days a week, same deal. They were down here at 6 in the morning running, lifting. So obviously if you're putting in those types of hours, then obviously you care and you want to get better. So the attitude's been great. The senior class has been awesome. They're a real joy to coach. So we're really kind of riding their work ethic right now.
The boys soccer team had an impressive 11-3-4 regular season last year, which got them 22nd seed in the MIAA tournament. Unfortunately, they fell short 1-0 against 11th-ranked Winchester in the round of 32. They will open the season at home against Acton-Boxborough on September 4th at 6:30 p.m. The girls' soccer team took a 7-7-4 record into the 34th seed in the MIAA tournament last season. They lost a close first-round matchup with 31st seed Beverly in a shootout. They will look for revenge against the Panthers in the season opener at home on September 3rd at 6:30 p.m. The girls' volleyball team finished the regular season with an 8-11 record. After a first-round bye, they lost 3-0 to Newton South in the MIAA tournament. They start the new season in Marblehead on September 6th. The field hockey team entered the playoffs as the 26th seed with a 6-8-3 record. They fell 2-1 in the first round against number 7 Algonquin. Their first matchup of the season is on the road against Westford on September 6th. The girls' cross-country team had an impressive campaign last year, finishing 3rd place at the state championship. The boys also found success with a 6th-place finish. They both hit the course again in Newburyport on September 7th. The swim and dive team won 5 events at the state championship last year. The squad looks to continue that good work, starting against Tewksbury and Methuen at Greater Lawrence Tech on September 10th. The golf team won the Merrimack Valley Conference with an impressive 11-2 record and hope to keep their momentum going as they start this year off against rival neighbor Andover on the road on September 4th.
North Andover Cam will be bringing you coverage of Scarlet Knights sports all season long on CamEd and on northandovercam.org. And if you're a dedicated sports fan like we are, we're always looking for volunteers to do commentary or work behind the scenes as a member of our team for all your sports broadcasts. Just simply email members@northandovercam.org or call us at 978-687-6570 to learn more and become a part of the CAM sports team. Now, North Andover High School sophomore Mehak Sankhla has been successful with implementing a new religious absence policy in our North Andover school system. Let's hear about why she's worked so hard to get this policy adopted and her next steps to bring the policy to the State House.
For me, a big thing was being able to allow students, everyone like me who doesn't celebrate Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Good Friday, to have the chance to actually celebrate their holidays, their loved ones, being able to not worry about schoolwork and not have to choose between school and family obligations, in being able to just have fun with family for the special holidays that bring everyone together. And this really made me want to bring change.
She explains to us that even though the policy was adopted just this past month in North Andover, it's something she's been working towards for quite a while, with some help from North Andover Public Schools faculty.
So I started this project in 8th grade for my civics-led action project, which was done at the end of the year, and each student chooses a project that's important to them, and they talk about it and they try to bring change. I had first started with the William Sims project with the class, and that helped me to get to where I am today. It helped me get the confidence to speak up for projects, and it helped me get the confidence to say what I believe in. So without Mr. McGravy and the rest of the people who helped me, I couldn't have been where I am today.
She also outlined the steps she took to get the policy adopted on the local level.
First, I met with Mr. Hicks, who's in the school committee. I'd also met with Ms. Lathrop, and I then spoke to the school committee people. A big part of all of these projects is speaking up. If you don't speak up, if you don't do something about it, nothing will happen. So I spoke at the school committee twice. Once I was invited alongside other people who were presenting, and the other time I went myself. And basically when I spoke to these people, it helped them realize something was a problem, how it wasn't unfair to me or other people. So it gave them a chance to work on something that they learned wasn't going right. And when they learned about this, they asked me what I could do, so I helped work with them to write a model policy to situate the new one off of. So policy JH existed on this subject, but it was not being implemented in schools, and it was really broad, it wasn't specific. It just said that students have the right to be absent from school for a religious holiday. And I worked with Ms. Lathrop and Mr. Hicks and the rest of the school committee to write a proper policy for all the towns to adopt. There's only so many students it'll help in our town. I want to bring it to all towns if I could possibly do that. So I met with Mr. Kuchar, who's from the Massachusetts Association of School Committees, and he basically told me that the best way to do this is to encourage people, other towns, to adopt a policy. So I wrote an article for their bulletin, which is getting released in the end of August for their August issue. And it's my hope to not just encourage people, but to make a law and bring in a bill for the next session to make sure that all people have a right to make policies for every town so that no one has to choose between school and their religious observance.
And Mehak herself tells us how we can enact change in our communities.
A big thing is just if you believe in it, you can do it. Don't let age or what others say stop you. If you think you can do it, you probably can.
Our town is full of untold stories just like this one, waiting to be shared with our community, and we can't wait to find them. So if you know any local organizations, businesses, or people who have stories to tell, contact us at the phone number and email below. Well, have you been driving down Main Street lately? You may be wondering what's going on behind the tall fence and line of heavy machinery at the Stevens Memorial Library. Well, we sat down with Library Director Kathleen Keenan, who provided the Journal with some details on the process of revitalizing the building's original entrance staircase, which was built 117 years ago in 1907.
When the stairs are complete, it'll be one set of stairs only. The central stairs will be back, and the granite treads, the actual granite steps that we've been walking on since 1907, will be back again. We will have the same light poles that were on the steps as well will be refurbished and remounted. We're having brand new handrails made because, like any kind of metal, in this weather, in this climate, eventually the metal needs to be replaced. The two side staircases are being removed, and those areas have been filled in, and the half walls on either side will be back again, but they'll now be half walls that are seating on either side of the main staircase. People have wondered about the project and why it took so long, and of course it's a really complicated process. We'll have used 130 tons of concrete and around 3 tons of reinforcing steel. The demolition, the original demolition, taking out the original steps and the dirt, they estimated it was about 60 truckloads, we're talking dump trucks, to take away everything that was there. The pit, which for a long time it seemed just like there was a giant pit there, was in fact because we were putting in a whole new drainage system, and it takes a new water line that connects it out to the street, so that the problems we've had in the past with water intrusion. This water is being collected in more places and being completely carried away from the property. We're very fortunate. The town of North Andover many years ago signed up with the Massachusetts state government to participate in something called the Community Preservation Act. Through that, there is funding where the town each year puts a certain percentage of money into the fund, and then there's also money that comes from the state funds to do that. But one of their 3 criteria is that the money can be used for historic preservation. Because this is the historic entrance, the original entrance from 1907, we definitely qualified for a grant. We went through the grant process. There's a committee who reviews the grant application and eventually voted for it. Eventually it goes to town meeting and the projects get supported by a town-wide vote. We're hoping that the stairs, including remounting the lamp poles and putting in the new railings, will be done by the end of this September. So we're looking forward to it. We've missed having that entrance. I think a lot of people have really missed having that entrance. It will be, I think, really great when it's done.
Thanks very much, Kathleen. And for you at home, if you'd like to see more photos of the construction process, the library has a dedicated page on their website documenting all the work being done. Just follow the link below. Now, while we love putting this show together, it wouldn't be possible without the help of citizens just like you. Anyone can be a journalist with some training and a desire to tell the stories of our community. You can help create segments for the show, work behind the scenes in our control room, or get in front of the camera like me. All you have to do is contact us at The Journal today. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this comeback edition of The Journal. I'm your host, Ron Carpenito, and thank you so much for watching.